Welcome back to another episode of Gregtech Community Edition Modern. Last time we got ourselves some polyvinyl butyl, and I have a full crate now. We are now stockpiling fluids, so that once we use some, we can just restock directly into the chest. Don't know how much more useful that's going to be, besides the fact that I know the laminated glass. So we got our laminated glass. Eventually gets used to make another kind of glass, fusion glass. So yeah, it looks like it is going to be something we'll be making more of in the future, even for these other machines. Once we get into, what tier is this? The UV tier Ultimate and ZMP. Yeah, so I think those are like the last two tiers there. Could be wrong, not sure. Oh, what's that color? Oh, that's just, yeah, okay. Same tiers. Different colors on some of the machines than the other ones. I did take some time to go ahead and set up two more of these combustion engines. Sorry about that tisk there. Hopefully I can edit it out in post. But we are going to try out something so that we can make sure this hooks up to be able to use this for some recipes, as well as we are looking to start using some P2P tunnels for some parallel processing using our blast furnaces to make the auto crafting so much faster. So let's jump right on into this. We got to get ourselves the P2P tunnels, which I think we need 3 of them, from what I'm understanding. So we'll go ahead and craft those up. I have the rest of what I need otherwise. You need a pattern provider for the outside P2P tunnel to connect to, and then you use the rest of them. So, and the only thing, the P2P tunnels are the way to move things like items, fluids, redstone signals, power, light, and channels around a network without them directly interacting with the network. There are many variants of P2P tunnels, but each only transports its specific type of thing. They are essentially act as portals. So we know that. For example, a hopper facing an item P2P, just like so, will act directly as this is next to the barrel. 2 barrels do not do this because there's no push or pull. It does work with redstone so long as there's an input and an output. And then it says, this is where I was wanting to look at, there are many types of P2P tunnel. Only the ME P2P tunnel is directly craftable. The others are made by right-clicking the other P2P tunnels with certain items. And it lists all these ones here. That's actually kind of cool. I didn't realize that they also, like, showed light, too. But this is one of the most used forms, is basically to have a P2P tunnel send over all of the controller lines through and over to another area to be distributed elsewhere. As we're not going to be doing that particular part right now, we will actually need to be setting this up to take a... So let's first wire these up so that they can start getting powered too. And go 1, 2... And same with this one. And that should power those up nice and quick. Okay, so here's where the P2P tunnel part will come. I think we're going to actually move... Do we have anything on the front? We do. We have our output hatch. I think we will just use it right here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to place ourselves a regular pattern provider onto the cable. Then we'll put our pattern provider down. I did bring an upgrade just so I can make sure that I can put in all of the patterns that'll go in. Then we need to place ourselves a P2P tunnel, and then one on each of the inputs we're going to be putting it into. Now, to change it to the P2P tunnel crafter pattern one, we have to do that. Now, I don't think we can click on those. Yeah, we cannot click on those. However, now we can take our cables, which this is where I do want to use the different colored cables. So let's go ahead and go grab out a bit of our orange dye. And we will chemically react that out and have it pour over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll let that start working. Now, while that's doing its processing, we'll go ahead and slap on a big old pod of those Fluix cables in there. I think I still have a few of the Scion left. So we're going to keep those in mind as we are going to use those for something as well. We do want to craft in 2 more things, though. So I want an import bus. And then I want 2 export buses. Actually, I'm going to need 1 more of those as well. I forgot. So this will allow us to hook up the machine to be able to import and export items where we want it to. And both of those export buses are actually going to need tag filters. So I believe if we do that, we can do our tag export bus, which I don't think I have the tag filter craftable. I do not. So we're going to have to go jump on over to the other area, see if we can craft up 2 of those. Tag filter. Right there. 1. And we do have enough plates for 2. That's good. 2. So those are... Oh, no. Don't currently have anything installed to get me steel. So if it's crafting steel, or it's not, we're good. Okay. I did make up a bunch of the stuff beforehand so that we don't have issues with running out of different materials that we need while the auto crafting for it is down. But let's go check up on our orange dye. That should be done. And it is. We're actually so far done that it is now processing extra salt in there that we don't want it to process. So that should be able to color way more cables than I expected. But that is fine. We'll just have to plop this on out and pour it back into there to re-solidify. And we'll go ahead and put those in there, and I think we should be able to stop it after this one. We'll get enough for like I think all of the crafts there. So we'll let that do its thing. Wait for these cables, and then we can move on over to get the other stuff taken care of with these different colored cables, so we can actually have a subsystem mixed in to process either process hot ingots. That's what it was. Okay, so for the export ones, we need to attach those with those tag filters. And then for both of those, we're going to make sure that we have stuff set up there in a minute. So the first thing we're going to need is we need our purple ones here. And if I could get it to work, that'd be great. There we go. Right there, there, and there. Okay, so now it's good to check. These devices are offline. We're going to go ahead and branch this one over 1 so that it is powered. Okay. So let's see if I can change the power. Just like that. Okay. Frequency. Carried channels. I am confused on that part. Doesn't look like we can click on anything here. So what is it that we have to do to link it? Do we have like a linking tool? Link. Unlinked. So if I put some patterns in here now, what does this say? What if I... Alright, let's look at this again. We need our pattern P2Ps. Oh, that's not what I wanted. D. So pattern P2P tunnels are patterns, push patterns by pattern providers. Providers on the input of the tunnel will be available to push patterns to any machine on the output of the tunnel. Additionally, machines can output to the output tunnel to send back to the pattern provider for convenience. Pattern sent through a P2P tunnel will act. So they all need to be pattern ones. Patterns sent through the P2P tunnel will act just like the pattern provider is right there at the output of the tunnel. This means blocking mode works per machine, and patterns will never be split up across multiple outputs. Also, special pattern interactions such as pushing directly into subnets or using molecular assemblers works fine. So, why is it saying that it's unlinked? Do I need to click on this one here with it? No. What? Is there like a tool that I'm missing? P2P. Do we need a network controller? Oh, we need a memory card. That's right. We have a memory card available to make. Right there. I think we can make all of those items without delving into materials we don't have access to making extra of right now. So let's... It's the iron plate. Now the question is the circuit. It sounds like it's running just fine. Yeah, it's making it. Okay, we're good. Working with systems that I've never worked with before. Which, don't get me wrong, this is really cool, but at the same time, oh my goodness. Memory card cleared. Okay. So if I right click, so that one there, and then we connect it there. Output side, input side. There we go. Cool. So now we need the orange cables. Those are going to be right here. And it will come down here. And we need one of them to be here. And then we will need an interface facing it. And then again, we will need come down. We can actually join it right here. This is the nice part. So we can join it right there and have that be the part that gets powered. Just got to find my quartz fiber cable. And that's going to be the part. Oop, why it does that. See that? There we go. That's going to part that's going to power those. And now we bring our orange cable the rest of the way over to our input bus. Our output bus will be there. Oh, switch back to the orange cable. Input bus. And then we will come over here. We say our import buses. Actually, we need one more. Forgot about that. So you need this one. You need this one. This one needs to say whitelist. Or it's going to blacklist is what we want. Because we just want the hot ingots. So all hot underscore ingots are blacklisted. We want those to enter over here. So let's say into there. Whitelist. Wildcard hot ingots. And there we go. So that should allow us to feed in the hot ingots out of there. We're going to need to make one more input bus there so that it can come in and be able to feed through right to there. And this should push it back through the system. So that should be how we want to set it up. I'm going to go grab one more input bus, and then we've got to change the hot ingot recipes. So let's look at input. Not input, what do they call them? Import. Import. Here we go. One more of those. We'll let that get going. And then I need to change the recipe that I've got here for the canthal. Because instead of this producing a hot canthal, we actually need to make the recipe ourselves and tell it that it's not producing hot canthal, it's going to produce canthal. Because it will produce the item, send it over to the freezer, and then bring it back out. So while it will take a little bit longer to craft, that will be the process to make our canthal. So now we just need to grab that import bus if it's done and slap it on to our thing there. So now this is where our test comes in. So let us start with steel. That's the first one. I know we can get it done really fast. Now we can try it out. Let's craft up another... Well, we got 17. 64 minus 17. We got 57, 47. So let's go up to 47. So I want to make some more RTM oils, although I got that wrong. I need 3 more on top of that. So let's go ahead and do 3 more. And let us see if that is functioning. So we should see we need to do maintenance. That's the last part I knew. I was forgetting something simple that was necessary to make it run. Just forgot what it was. Maintenance and maintenance. There we go. So now should see it put out some of that dust once we get it made up. So let us see. Where is... these tools away so I can get them out of my way. There are cables down there. And then let's go look. Not there, up here. After we replace our batteries, So it just mixed a bunch of them. So now it's scheduled the vanadium steel. So now we've got to see, did it put the dust in to either of them? So it doesn't seem to have worked. Is it... Can't look in there. Can't do anything with that one. These are all online as well, and they've exported all the stuff they need. The only other thing I could think of needing to do is making another ME controller. So let's look up controller. What do we need for the controller again? So let's see. I think I have some skystone blocks still somewhere. At least I should. Not in there. Polished deep slate. Skystone. Is that what we're needing? We need skystone blocks, which the recipe for those is to smelt those. So let's go toss those in a smelter. I think our best bet is this thing right here. It is crammed full of stuff. Let's throw that in there. Put those away. Go somewhere else later. And there we go. We got our skystone blocks. Throw our stone away. Let us check. I think I can auto-craft the rest of it. Just need to let that go through its thing. We got everything else there. I hope this is the only problem, is that there needs to be a controller on that end. From the looks of it, that was exactly the case on the other side. The only thing that's confusing is that I don't know why it would need a controller specifically when none of the images show that it needs the controller. There is that. So let's go check. It's interesting that I finally got that, even though I had one for a long time. So let's see. If I attach that, does it now work? No. Device is online. It knows the processing pattern for vanadium steel is right there. Ingots. The blacklist and the whitelist. Let's look this up one more time somewhere else. We got the P2P pattern tunnels. It's an upgraded version. The input side is placed on the pattern provider containing patterns. It can have multiple outputs, which should be connected to inventories. When multiple crafts of a single pattern are requested, the P2P tunnel will evenly distribute the crafts between all of the connected outputs. The pattern P2P tunnel also respects blocking mode, which is set in the interface containing the patterns. Okay. I don't have any other place where vanadium steel should be trying to process. So I'm a little bit confused as to why it is not processing. I'm going to be back. I'm going to look up some stuff really quick and see if I can figure it out. Okay, so it seems to not be working no matter what I could do. And there's no real tutorials on this online. So I guess the only way I can think of trying to fix this, we do have to change orange cable first to come back down to here and connect it through that interface and tag export bus really quick. So this one is going to say the same thing as before. Star hot underscore. Okay. All those are online. The only other thing I could think of doing is changing the pattern P2P tunnel to an item P2P tunnel. Seeing if that will work. Let's go cancel that autocraft. We'll restart it. Oh. That's right, there's two autocrafts over there. The other one and cancel that. So this might have one other thing that I can do to kind of fix this, which we will try that next. Which is, let's go try and start it up again. So we were trying to do, full amount was another 50. So we only got 12 in the system, that's odd. So let's do 12. And does not look like we're getting absolutely any here. Oh no, it's input it. They're just not turning on for some reason. Oh. And now I gotta test out if that was the... Can't believe I forgot that. These need to have 2 on them. Put them back to their pattern provider thing. We will need our pattern providers. 1, 2. Should have checked the inputs. Let's go ahead and go cancel that, and then we will start the vanadium steel that we have. 62 to do up, so let's do that. 62, 50, 62. Done. Does that start up? Okay, so that was the problem. That was why we just needed to hook up the system. To actually have this, I thought I did that so long ago that I guess, like, that was where it went wrong. So now we should make our vanadium steel up. And the great part is, each one only takes 3 seconds, but because we're double crafting, we will get through all 62 in, is that 31 times 3? So we get 93 seconds. That's only like a minute and a half instead of doubling that up to 180 and saying, hey, we got to wait 3 minutes to craft this all up. Now comes the other real test of, can it make Anthol properly? So we will go ahead and queue up 20 to be made. And we will wait here. This should finish up relatively quickly. Already down to 11. we just gotta test that it will shuffle that Anthol over into the vacuum freezer before ejecting it out. And if that's working, this full automation setup will be quite peak. Now we'll get our Canthol going into both of them. Split it up nice and evenly. So, what is our problem with the Canthol? It's that the output is blocked. We need inverter cards. I think we need inverter cards. So let's go see about getting some of those. I don't think I have... inverter cards. Invert. To make those, we just need rid of all our wires. We'll go ahead and craft that up, and then we'll craft 3 of those, I think. 3. That should be relatively nice and quick. Once again, it looks like the output is working. We just need it to output the items where they're supposed to output them. And it does not matter where the items are going, because we want all of the items that are going to be processed to them to output. Guess we could put an interface on there instead. This feels like a little bit of a waste of so much material for that. Come on, just one more inverter card. I guess it doesn't matter for now because this will work for both of our things there. That should now import them into the system. So is there a reason it's not? I guess these are ingots. Let's see if we just do whitelist ingots. Does that work now? Something feels a little fishy here. That into an interface. Can we do an like a tag interface? No. What if I switch that out for a storage bus? It's the only other thing I can think of doing to change it up and see if it works that way. This should allow it to pump in through there, but guess not. Got our storage bus, let's see. No. Okay, what if I... This is where these solutions on this stuff don't really make much sense. You should be able to just pop stuff into there. I can see if it'll let me at least place an item in a hopper, which should have one free in there. Let's come over here. Wrench off these. We'll place our hopper down, and then we'll say, what about placing into a hopper? Say just wild card ingots. Does that work now? Alright, something feels a little bit off about this. Maybe we just put the interface on. See if we can go put two more interfaces on. I guess I just need one more craft. We should have the rest of that back in the base to be able to grab those out. We did make the other thing, the inverter card that I was looking for. But I guess we don't need that if we have to use the interfaces. But this is actually we'll test that first. If we do this and we say interface right there, what happens now? Okay, it is dumping now. One at a time. Where is it going? Is it going into the hopper now? It is. So can I then remove the hopper and put the interface one more up or down? Doesn't really do that there. And say, not P2P. I don't know, where's the interface go? So, right there. That should be able to... That is all out. There we go. So, now we will take this one off. Also place the interface there, and it looks like... Yeah, so placing the interfaces and then using it directly into another interface was the right play. So now... we will check. This only takes 4 seconds. Is it making its way over to the vacuum freezer? That is the question. Or... are we dumping it in the system? Hot... underscore... that's 0... underscore ingots. So, terrifyingly enough, that's the input bus. So that's on. Why is this not working? Insufficient energy. We have no batteries in there. Let's put new batteries in there. There we go. Looks like only 2 of those went in there, which is not good. Because that means we need to eject those out somehow. That means we've got ourselves some hot ingots. No? Where'd the rest of them go? There's none there, none there. Who went in here? What happened to them all? What void did they get sucked into? Oh, they're in the interface there. This is a storage bus. Why is there a storage bus over here? That's not what we want. They get sucked it out where it needs to go, but... I am now super confused. Alas... Hmm. I do? Can't use an interface, but you can use the storage bus. That's... I still don't understand how that's supposed to work, but I guess we'll put the storage buses there. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna get those ingots. Oh, I can carry them? Last time I remember them just being, like, tossed out of your inventory willy-nilly. So I guess that's what we're gonna have to hook up on there, because that will satisfy our need. I still don't know what happened to the other ones. Like, we should have had more hot ingots. I guess one thing I can do, and this will satisfy all of the needs that we need, we can put our interfaces down, and then we can put a storage bus with a crate or a chest. We could just do the chest right there. So it'll suck out, dump it into the chest, and then pull it out to the proper locations. Still wanting to find out what happened to those Anthol ingots. I have no idea where they went. Just went poof, gone. Unless they went into like some other... Oh, that'd be an import bus. That'd be an export bus. Something happened and they just went and disappeared. I don't know why that one's not working either. Vanadium steel. Says that it didn't get it all. Interface says we're waiting on glass. Is there a reason you can't find the glass? This is so weird that things aren't working properly. Yeah, we're missing 8 Canthal. I totally knew it. I have no idea what happened to it. We'll test it one more time, make sure it actually works. Let's have it do 10 more. And there we go, so now it starts. Now it should automatically output into there, and then dump them over to here. It takes so quickly that I start to wonder. And then it dumps it back in the chest and we'll send it back out. Does it do it all? Great. So we got it working the way it was intended to work. Took a lot of fiddling and figuring stuff out, and I'm glad I understand them a lot more now. Was thinking I understood them perfectly after, like, reading what it does exactly, and so it's kind of crazy that it wasn't working. Just simple error of not paying attention to things, so... But it's kind of... I find it interesting that we've got... Oh. We're not getting all of them back again because I forgot to get my interfaces. Interface. And we crafted this time. Let's go see if our glass is working. It should just pump in a piece of sand there. Probably make sure it doesn't include the oxygen recipe. That's probably why it's having a problem. As it cannot insert the oxygen it needs. And so it's not happy with that. That is exactly what the issue was. I knew something fishy was going on. And we'll go get our interface plopped on down. That should finish up the last of what we need there. There we go. 2 and 3, 4. That finishes that all up. So that just proves the concept of how it's going to work. And same thing, I can wire up the blast furnace to have its liquid output go over to the blast chiller, which is exactly why its liquid output is facing this way. So that I can have the liquid output hatch, probably move it onto the back here and tuck it underneath so that I can whip it underneath all of our things here, send it straight into our input hatch and output from the back. Now, things like Canthal, I don't think are going to be performed in the original things there, because we do have molten Canthal. So I can do it directly inside the alloy smelter and then freeze it, which will take 100 seconds to create 3 ingots worth, and then simply freezing it afterwards. Whereas I think each hot ingot takes 30 seconds, so that would be 90, plus the mixing of it. And to make it the mix, that's another 15. So we're saving 5 seconds on each one, basically. Doesn't seem like a lot, but 5 seconds when you're creating hundreds of Canthal, that's a lot. So, anyways, thank you for watching me discover how P2P tunnels work, and reminding myself of my own humanity and how silly it is that I forget things every single time, even though I tell myself not to. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment. I will see you guys next time. Bye!